Hey guys, today we want to conquer the basics of printing in Python. So, before we do that, let me just give us a few objectives. The first objective is I want to talk about where you can code. Next, we want to look at basic Python commands. In fact, today we're only looking at one. We're going to talk about what strings are, quotes, and then I'm going to give you a basic challenge. So, the first thing I want you to take a look at is this website here. And this is a web page by the Raspberry Pi Foundation. There are loads of online editors for coding. Usually, to be fair, personally, I'll usually code using something like Visual Basic, which you can write your code into and it will execute it as well. But it also means that you'd have to have installed Python onto your computer. And I don't want to overcomplicate this, so I just want to say, let's use a basic website like the Raspberry Pi Foundation. They have a nice, clean editor, simple to use, that we can begin to start learning to code. So I'm logged in. You don't have to be logged in, but obviously if you're logged in, then you can save your projects. As you can see, I've got some here. I'm going to click to create a new project, and I'm just going to call this one printing. And I want to select Python, and then I want to create my project. Now, as you can see, I've got my files down the left here. I've got my window here where I can write my code, and then here we should display an output. So, simply put, all programming languages need a method to output information or data to a screen. And this is written differently in different languages. So, Java, it will be different. JavaScript will be different. C#, and then Python. So there's a Python example here. It says hello world. We're going to go into this in a bit more detail. Many people's first program will be a hello world program. Let's try that out. So here on the left, I'm going to write my code. I'm going to write the command print. I'm going to use parentheses. And then in quotes, I'm going to write hello world. Now, when I click on run, as you can see, that's output on the screen. So this is probably the most basic program you can write. In Python, the command to output to the screen is print. However, print is not just a command, it's also a function. We're not going to go too much into what functions are today. In fact, we won't. The only thing you have to know is that functions contain a parenthesis. And in this case, we are telling Python what we want displayed on the screen, and that goes in between the parentheses. The other thing I wanted to touch on are data types, and I'm not going to go through them all. I'm just going to speak about one today. And the data type we're going to talk about is what's known as a string. So strings represent, any special character, alphanumeric characters, and numerical characters as well. So if we look at our example here, when we output to the screen, we can output any kind of alphanumeric character. We can display numbers, and we can display special characters too, such as at, equals, etc., etc. There we go. So now when I click on run, just like before, we should expect it to output to the screen, right? So that's a basic program, and that's basically how to print. Let's go through some other things. As you can see, I've used double quotes here, or in programming terms, we often call these double quotes. They're just quotation marks. However, we can also use an apostrophe, which is often referred to as single quotes. So that will do exactly the same as before. Hello world. And if I click on run, just like before, the output will work. And then the last thing I want to show you today, before I give you a small challenge, is that we can also print over several lines. I'm just going to delete them all. So I've got my print and my parenthesis, and we can print over several lines if we use 3 quotation marks. And the way this works is, if I type in 1, 2, 3, it's got 3 quotation marks now. If I hit enter, you can see that I've got a beginning, and I can now write over several lines. So I could say, for example, hello and world, and it should print over 2 lines now. If I had done that before, that wouldn't have worked. So if I did 1 and I said hello, and then I was to try and go to a new line, it wouldn't work. It would give me an error. As you can see here, it says unterminated string literal detected at line 1 on line 1 where it says hello. What it is saying here is it's unterminated. In other words, we didn't close the quote. So Python is looking for where the string begins and where the string ends. And the quotes signify where our string has begun and where it ends, is in this case here. Now, because we didn't have free quotes, let's do 2 more here. Oops. And add 2 more here. Now that allows us to write over several lines. I could do that, 1, 2, 3. And because they're free, it now expects that it's over multiple lines. So if we click on run now, you can see that works. Okay. And we can do the same with single quotes. So if we do the same thing again, let's delete that. And I'll type in 1, 2, 3 single quotes. And I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it should print them all over consecutive lines, as you can see. So for you now, I have a challenge. I often give this to my year 8s. So what I'd like you to do, maybe pause the video, is I would like you to do this exact screen as you see it. Right? So I want a line that says, choose which door you would like to enter. 2 other doors will lead to your death or your peril. And then I would like you to, only with what we've looked at today. So we've said that using alphanumeric characters and special characters or numbers, only those, I want you to print 3 doors for me. In fact, you can go a little further and put door numbers 1, 2, and 3. So pause it now, and in a moment when you click on play again, I'll quickly run through how to do it. There you go. As you can see, I've just used ASCII characters, and if I click on run, there's my program. So that's the end of our first lesson. Today we've only looked at just how to display text on the screen. Please don't forget to click on like, add comments, click on the subscribe button, and I hope you're looking forward to watching the next video.